Hello everybody, how's it going? Me, Mutahar. Today we're doing ROOBET House of Cards, but the finale. It's a 6-part series, and today comes the end. I would have made this earlier, but there's a lot of new developments that happen like literally per hour, and I was also in Los Angeles this weekend, so, you know, it's best I don't write a script under a hangover. But now that I'm here in Canada, alive, healthy, and fine, we can sit back, relax, and really deep dive into who might be behind this entire offshore crypto casino gambling den. Ladies and gentlemen, me and CoffeeZilla have been working at this like literal dogs. We've had assistance from friends like Philion, like Barely Sociable. A lot of these people, we've come together and we sort of analyzed this even further. Now, months ago, you've probably seen in streams with Hassan Piker, H3H3, XQC, Trainwrecks, there were heated debates over the subject in of itself. For me and CoffeeZilla, on the other hand, we initially thought this was like a rabbit hole with the influencer at the top of our cursory glances. But throughout this series, we've left mention of CSGO skin gambling websites, deleted Reddit accounts with post histories tied to the creation of ROOBET, customer service of ROOBETs, and even the alleged creation of Wizza's subreddit. Now, we've covered the murky history of investor relations between CSGO, Wizza, and ROOBET, and as you've seen in CoffeeZilla's Part 5, just before a rather startling contradiction offered up by our good friend, Steve Will Do It.
He told me it in DMs. You don't even know why I make so much. I asked, why? He replied, I promote Wizza completely free. That's the only reason I make money off ROOBET. I was offered a bag, not cryptocurrency, for promotion of Wizza. I said no because I can't do that on YouTube because my whole thing is no paid ads on YouTube. That's why when I go to Mexico, I was able to stream with 1 to 2K viewers and make good money off stream. Wow. It is true that Steve constantly is telling people how much he promotes Wizza for free because they're his buddies.
I'm doing this for them. They're paying me $0.
I know like there's been some controversy. They talk about this like Wizza thing, right? Yeah. And I know firsthand like that you do not collect money from that because you're grateful for the other opportunities that the people who like basically created that company gave you.
But what he's telling us here contradicts that. He's simply saying because he doesn't take a paycheck with Wizza, he gets more of a paycheck over on ROOBET, which totally contradicts Wizza's whole point to myself and Mutahar that they're totally separate from ROOBET.
It's odd in every angle, and if true, it does really contradict that Wizza and ROOBET may not be as financially separate as once was thought, if those are the deals being given. Again, the ball is in our friend Steve's court for being the perfect, confidential, well, not really confidential, but you get it. He's the person that blew the whistle, the whistleblower. One thing that you've seen in my side, before we get into it, I really want to address some criticisms. I've seen like some of the influencers involved in this situation make it out to be like I'm here for some ethical and moral argument. First off, yeah, the ethics are important, but I'm not doing this as a moral situation. I am going to just straight up say it. I don't have a problem with adults doing what it is if it's completely legal, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to something as addictive as gambling, if you take sponsorships and they're completely operating in legal areas, I have no concerns, all right? Regulated is not a big issue in my comparison. There's plenty of YouTubers and streamers out there that are taking actual sponsorships from sports betting, which is gambling in of itself. But those are sponsorships that if an American YouTuber takes from a federally regulated American casino operating in their country, I don't have an issue with that. It's all by the book. The problem that I have with these casinos is their unregulated, skeevy, disgusting nature. Because at the end of the day, these people have American audiences. I'm Canadian. 90% of my audience is from the United States. You think I don't get these offers? Oh, I get them all the time. Back in the day, of course. Nowadays, nobody's going to even bother trying. But ladies and gentlemen, back in the day, I used to get these offers. And immediately when I asked them, like, hey guys, is this gambling? They're like, no. It's gaming. It's gaming. You're just putting money in gaming. Oh, so it's gambling. No. It's gaming. And immediately you realize you should just like red flag, go home right there. Now, if they're going to offer you a bunch of money, there are some influencers that think, shit, guys, I have no goddamn morals beneath me. My fans don't matter at all. Let's just get them addicted to gambling. Fuck, I don't even have to do it myself. And in that case, if you're promoting unregulated offshore casinos, basically, you're going to say, hey, guys, if you're from America, don't use a VPN or anything. Dude, 90% of the audience is American. What do you think they're going to try to do? VPN that shit up, baby. And at that point, when the money starts flowing illegally into an offshore crypto casino, that's where the line gets drawn, especially if that unregulated casino doesn't have to follow a lot of the laws that Canadian casinos necessarily have to do, or American casinos, or any regulated casino. You understand that? There's a key difference between the two. But I wanted to nip that in the ass. In fact, we'll get to that point towards the tail end of this video. I don't want to front load you with all that information just yet, because what I do want to front load you with is who could really be behind those massive whale wallets that you were seeing? Who could own the massive amount of money outflowing from ROOBET's original whale wallet, at least in Ethereum, to these mega massive wallets that we found throughout the entire series? So to recap, the hot wallet for ROOBET exists as a zone to fund money from intermediary wallets tied to each ROOBET account. These wallets are different depending on which of the 3 crypto funds you use. For instance, if you use Bitcoin, they'll give you a different wallet. If you use Ethereum, they'll give you a different wallet, same for Litecoin, because they're on 3 different networks. For Bitcoin, you can request new addresses, but not so much for Ethereum or Litecoin as far as I'm able to imagine. Once you get those wallets to your account, they are tied forever. So in this case, we're able to actually look at the history for a lot of these creators who were just gambling on stream for hours on end. Looking through their VODs, we were able to see them as they opened up the deposit tab, a quick frame glimpse of their intermediary gambling wallet. And in this case, surprise, surprise, in many cases, none of these people were playing with house money. Now, in certain cases, I guess the influencer will tell you, yeah, we were pretty upfront open about it. But if you're going to sit there for hours on end with new people constantly pouring in and consistently getting fills all the time and showing people, look at that, $100,000 win. Oh boy, 6-figure wins. That's where you start to get into the brain of some of these. That's where you start forming some addicts. They're like, I might get that too. You can say gambling's a losing game all you want, but if it's that much of a losing game, and if getting fills is ethically wrong, why take the sponsorship to begin with? I mean, I've been to LA for the weekend. I know it's an expensive city. I get it. You have to spread your cheeks to live every once in a while, right? Anyways, though, once you fund the intermediary wallet with actual cryptocurrency, it would then reflect onto the user's account, and they could play any of the games that are actually available. After a certain amount of time has passed, the intermediary wallet then sends the funds placed in it to the ROOBET hot wallet, and here it starts to circulate, gathering money from players and paying it out from this wallet whenever a cash out is requested by any account. These wallets that you're looking at right here, okay, if you look at this Sankey graph, this is a quick way to visualize money flow. This main wallet is our ROOBET hot wallet. So this is where it gets the money pouring in from. But when it pours out money from top to bottom, which is largest to smallest, these are the whale accounts that we're going to be primarily looking into. In today's video, we want to isolate who it could be that's running sites like ROOBET in this case, which really has no public CEO. Even if you look into their article papers, it's just registered to some offhand agent. And I wonder why. Now, in today's video, we want to isolate who it could be that's running sites like ROOBET, which has no real public CEO. I mean, even if you look at their incorporation papers, it signs off to some offhand agent. And I wonder why. Look, I said in part 4, if I ran this massive organization where I was making hundreds of millions of dollars a year, if possible, like 10s, 50, 100, I'd put it as a notch on my empire. I mean, who wouldn't, right? At the end of the day, that's a big deal. You made that. And I understand, you want to live low-key in your life. You don't want people to look into your money trail. But I think the real answer for that is, if this is, really this unregulated offshore crypto casino, which, yes, it's hosted in Curacao, it does not have the ability to process funds between the United States, the United Kingdom, as per its own TOS. If it turns out that some of that money, maybe a giant chunk of it, was siphoned from those exact restricted territories, I might potentially be breaking some pretty serious laws. And maybe in that case, then I understand keeping your name out of it. Then I get it. But we'll get to all of that towards the tail end of the video. Now, after months of investigations between all of our episodes, I've spoken to some key characters involved in this whole situation. I've spoken to Alan, I've spoken to Chris, one of the original creators of ROOBET, and various influencers, as you've heard from throughout this series. Insiders from various casinos. Wait, did I say influencers? Only one of them was an influencer, guys, Alan. The other one, Chris, is one of our low-key friends, who sits sort of behind the mantle, if you will. But before we jump in, I want to start saying that I do not condone harassment or doxing of any individual. That's why I'm only going to give a first name basis. I'm not going to lead a breadcrumb trail for you to figure out who this person is and what their identity is. They're already trying to scrub as much as they can. I've also heard from people in this circle that some of them are actually fearing for their life. Some of them are not there. Some of them are just hiding at this point. Some of them don't want more attention drawn onto them. And in some capacity, I can understand that. But the reality is, listen, if influencers like FaZe Banks, like Aiden Ross, like Steve Will Do It, who have multiple mega million-dollar empires, are going to be the face of ROOBET, because let's be real, when the influencer jumps into the circle and their face is plastered all over, that's the first person that the sword falls on in terms of public opinion. So it's unfair that these massive people have their entire livelihoods and their image besmirched by a group of people that are so anonymous that if ROOBET was to be plastered all over, they could just send the account, they could send the money to somewhere else and start a brand new offshore casino and use a brand new group of influencers to peddle this shit with. It's unfair when people say, I don't want my name attached to it. Ladies and gentlemen, when you make a lot of money legally, it's not so much to worry about, okay? Steve will do it, as weird and wild as he is, has the Nelk team, has Happy Dad. See, this is a difference again between legitimate businesses and shady, skeevy businesses that may or may not entirely be legal. Okay, so anyways, let's get back to it. A lot of these interviews that I had with these people like Alan and Chris, and even coffee with the various influencers he's talked to, a lot of these interviews, as you can imagine, have these people pointing fingers at each other. I mean, each and every one of them tried to make themselves look the least culpable. Hey, I'm not the worst person. The other guy, that's the real bad person. It's like a game of fucking Among Us, okay? The way we make this work is we identify discrepancies. We see if one person says something, we write it in our notes. If two people confirm something, there's a degree of reality. And if three people are saying the same thing, well, I'd say it's definitely veering away from just coincidental. Now, in certain interviews like this, there's a degree of off the record. In fact, in certain cases, most of these people wanted their entire interview to be off the record. So for us, we're going to be using a combination of other anonymous sources to really start confirming things, okay? Because I know from their own mouths what they've said. Now it's time to identify those discrepancies and see where it correlates with other users who choose to remain anonymous. So let's revisit the wallets again. There's 6 wallets in total, and we need to look at all of these, okay? These wallets, once again, have received large deposits, the largest from ROOBET's main hot wallet in Ethereum. That's not counting the Bitcoin or the Litecoin, okay? See, according to the Sankey money flow graph, these wallets we're interested in are, number 1, OXE 675, 2D541270, whatever, you get it. ROOBET's first largest whale. This account received 23.6 thousand Ethereum, okay? By today's standards, that's about $94.6 million, okay? Like 94.6. That's, of course, if they never spent a bit of that Ethereum. If it all just sat in that account, right now, that would be worth that much. Because from the time they received that money, the value of Ethereum basically skyrocketed like crazy. So earlier on, like if you were like trading this Ethereum a year and a half ago, it wouldn't be worth close to what it is now. But now if they owned it, if they owned all of it, oh yeah, they'd be close to 100 million. That wallet at least. What's important with Wallet 1 is it interacts with primarily whale number 2 and whale number 6. The amount of transactions and the size of them show the relationship that they have between each other is more than just one-off transactions. It's repetitive. It's repetitious. The wallet also sends to whale 4 as well, sometimes to whale number 8. But if you check whale number 8 closely, they amass Ethereum and then they immediately send it to Kraken, either to cash it out into like real currency or potentially maybe swap it into another cryptocurrency entirely. What's interesting is that the final transaction ever conducted is about a year old. This is a dead wallet with about $5,000 in Ether sitting around. Just a measly $5,000, okay? A small loan, if you will. This means that this interacted with other whale wallets. It received the largest share of the hot wallet, but sent it off to various exchanges, back into ROOBET, and then sent a significant chunk to whale number 2 and whale number 8. There's a clear, repetitious relationship with some of these individuals up until the point of this death of the wallet, right? Up until the point where the transactions ceased. Now, one of the names that we have over here is our friend Alan. At this point in the story, Alan's like a household name, okay? This is like the original Avengers. This is like Captain America. I want you to imagine this whole story is like the Avengers, but just for like people who have come from the CSGO gambling world. If you've seen him in Steve's video, he's named Alfonso, okay? And initially, this guy was believed to be the go-to, Steve's money, if you will. This was like Steve's like rich homie. It's clear Alan, through the story, is orbiting in ROOBET, okay? Hovering around some of the main principal members, and through anonymous sources and various off-the-record admissions from numerous parties, is he owns the second largest whale wallet on ROOBET. So yeah, this wallet in particular. Now, compared to wallet number 1, it's pretty alive, ladies and gentlemen. As of time of refreshing this page once more, you can see that it's gotten the last transaction to it, 1 Ether in particular, and 3 hours and 41 minutes ago, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, 12 hours ago, ROOBET's hot wallet was sending money to the second largest whale as well. 10 Ether, which by today's standards, ladies and gentlemen, is a paltry $47,000. I mean, clearly it's pocket change for these people. Wallet 2 has received from the main hot wallet around 11,830 Ethereum. By today's standards, if that money was never spent, would be worth $47.4 million. That's a lot of Richard Milles that you can buy, right? The wallet's history started around 2017, and one of the original sources of funds was a tiny fractional amount, but it's important. This came from a wallet that we labeled as alleged OP skins, okay? So OP skins alleged here. Now, why do we call this alleged OP skins? It's alleged because we've seen this initially on Reddit through a post on the Wax.io subreddit. As we scan through this wallet, we'll click right here, we can find that they have 2 NFT partnerships. So you go to their ERC721 tokens, and you'll find out they've got a lot of this fish bank, but if you go even further, all right, you go all the way back, you'll find out that they have My Hero as well, or My Hero 9. This appears to actually be a giant skin wallet, because if you look at the transactions, they've got like 80,000 something. Anytime you see something large like that, it's probably either a hot wallet or an exchange or somebody that just can't stop transacting Ether, okay? Usually it's one of the first two. But the idea over here is that this is, again, just a skin wallet for OP skins. Now, Alan, all right, who, by the way, conveniently jumps into the entire mix, and his Twitter history, if you look at it real carefully, is always talking about OP skins. I mean, seriously, read some of these fucking posts. There's also one more pattern on this whale that you have to identify as well, ladies and gentlemen, is that when you look at wallet number 2, they love gambling, okay? I mean, like, fucking love gambling. You know, if you look at the constant amount of money flowing in and out, not just from ROOBET, but from our friends over at DualBits, another crypto casino. They enjoy the idea of gambling. They love it. This is what they do. Further connection to Alan on this account includes constant transferring to Doom 13's intermediary wallet. Remember that kid we saw in part 2, you know, when we saw him in Steve's house as well? Yeah, we were first introduced to him by him. We'll also remember that we found the intermediary wallet for Doom that he leaked for about 1 frame on a video. Yeah, initially we thought this guy had a larger share, but he's really only seen around Alan for the most part. In fact, here's an image of both of them sitting and kicking back playing slots. I don't know if that's Phantom Lord in the back, but it's a small world if it is, all right? Jesus Christ. If you look closely at Wallet 2's transactions to Doom, you'll find out that there's, they're tiny amounts, a few $1,000s. Come on, comparatively to the rest of it, yeah, pocket change. According to Doom's intermediary wallet, when he's not financing it with these like various exchanges or other wallets that have strong ties, it literally comes from the second largest wallet. Logical deduction and reasoning lead us to believe that the alleged Allen Wallet 2 may have some more credibility to it because this is the only one interacting with what appears to be Alan's friend. So it seems like Alan might as well just be fucking Howie for Doom. But hey, let's get down into it. Alan is pinned by various anonymous sources, and just by spending habits, this is the largest money flow actively being sent from ROOBET. And if Alan, all right, if this is Alan's wallet, right, allegedly, can you imagine Alan's position over at ROOBET? That's something to ponder and consider. The next few people in this is Anthony and Matt. Now, you might have heard of Matt from Fillion, and we've probably mentioned him a few times throughout the series, but Anthony might just as be a new household name. I'm going to combine these two into one group, because they're the ones that have the most interactability between each other, okay? We know that Matt was on the operations team of ROOBET based on press releases, but here's where we connect Anthony into it. Anthony has a relation, as you've guessed it, to the Counter-Strike Global Offensive world. Anthony was involved in websites such as CSGO Gamble, Earn, CSGO Kingdom, CSGO Magic, but importantly, OP Skins as influencer marketing. Also remember that Matt, on his own resume, was working in marketing at OP Skins at the same time. Boy, what a small world we live in. While these social media profiles are mostly private for obvious reasons, the blockchain can't be so easily privated, unless you use like Monero or something. Let's go down another rabbit hole and determine another valuable account. So on Matt's website, he lists his career history, conveniently leaving out OP Skins. I wonder why. But one thing our little developer forgot was this little social media blurb on the bottom corner. Now, one thing that's always fishy is when these people get caught, like when their names start getting thrown out, all their socials just go private, like they're just completely gone, okay, off the face of the earth. Listen, guys, stop embarrassing yourself. I've got screen recording software for a reason, all right? You think I pay for this Bandicam subscription out of nowhere? Get out of here. Stop embarrassing yourself. One of the things that our buddy Matt posted was this old thing on his Twitter profile, duodecimates. Now, since then, this has been conveniently deleted, but this was something that we screen captured. One of the hot juice things to do with the NFT is once you've bought it, all right, once you've confirmed ownership of the non-fungible token, you go onto social media and you plaster it on your profile media and you say, hey, look, This is me. This is my NFT. So here we looked at this NFT, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, we went right onto OpenSea and we found out who it belonged to. The NFT belongs to a series that is known as Mutant Apes Yacht Club. So using this address we found on OpenSea, we put it into Etherscan, and the blockchain reported that it had an ETH value of $67,000, but around $197,000 in compound USD. So it's a chunk of money. Their first payment was from the ROOBET hot wallet, so likely it could be that they cashed out some money. But let's follow the trail from this NFT specifically. It took us to this wallet, which at the time we believed to be the alleged Matt NFT wallet. Okay, so to give you a scope of what they own, 12 CryptoPunks, 50 On One Force NFTs, 10 Bored Apes, and 28 Mutant Apes. That's like a lot of money in just NFTs alone, okay? If we're calculating this might be one of the most valuable JPEG accounts that I've ever seen. But if you look at this alleged Matt account, it sent 102 Ether to the 5th largest whale as well. The 5th largest whale at the time of recording has almost $9 million in ETH, and a crap ton of mommy milker tokens, okay? All right, figure out which one's more valuable. But what's interesting is the alleged Matt wallet sends around 100 Ethereum here, and this wallet will send nearly 300 to Ant BBBB. So the way that we confirmed this is we took this Ether address, we tossed it into OpenSea, and we found out that the public name was Ant BBBB. Now, at the end of the day, the money from ROOBET ends up being shuffled into NFTs. Down the road, some of these are sold like the CryptoPunk for $500,000. But what's important are the offers people are putting up for these NFTs. These offers pile up like every few minutes or so, for tens of thousands of dollars at a time. So again, if your casino is offshore and crypto-based, some could siphon money out of it, put it immediately into NFTs, sell it for a massive amount, and report it as an art sale to the IRS. Because if you think about it, let's say that you were siphoning money from an offshore crypto casino that wasn't allowed to be used in the United States. You try going to a US bank, what are you going to put on your source of funds? Are you going to tell them, yeah, it came from ROOBET, the offshore crypto casino that's not allowed to be played in the US? They're going to probably ask you, what? Wait, where does the money go to ROOBET? Where does the money come from? Is it the United States as well? Yeah, at that point, we're going to have to discuss legalities. But if you say that, yeah, I sold some JPEG online, boys, I sold a non-fungible token, maybe, just maybe, that might fly underneath the IRS. So anyways, yeah, Matt shares this NFT on Twitter, okay, and we trace it to accounts tied off the bat to ROOBET's hot wallet. Then we have Whale 4 and 5, pretty much intertwining in this web of NFTs. We find an Ant BBBBB wallet, Anthony maybe, that transfers these mega NFTs for free to accounts linking Matt's Twitter NFT picture, and in the midst discover millions in crypto sitting dormant, waiting to just speculatively rise as NFTs get pushed out onto the people. One thing you have to understand by this point in the video is that the real winners in all of this are the whales of ROOBET, okay? It's not the influencers. They're making like $1 million, $2 million at a time. Granted, it's a scummy partnership to take, but when you compare their earnings to like these guys and the amount of money that they're just sending in NFTs alone, that's just one aspect. Again, we're only looking at Ethereum. The picture starts to really show up in your head that the real winners are the whales, all right? The influencers are just little tiny pawns that they have to give like a few pennies to every once in a while. And when you look at this real closely, when you look at Anthony alone, there's more confirmation, because once you look at the marketing promo materials for ROOBET as well, you go to their site, you hit up the affiliate status on your account, and you can check some of the marketing materials. And while it's difficult to ascertain because Google Drive is a bit weird, you can use the mobile app to basically find out and determine that these accounts were created by Gmail accounts linking to Anthony and Matt themselves. And ladies and gentlemen, again, these two people know each other from OP Skins. Their emails are tied to literal ROOBET's marketing wallets. You think that they're not interacting with who would be the two people, okay, who are sending hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially millions of dollars between each other's NFT or wallet accounts, okay, aside from these two people? This is like logical deduction and reasoning, okay? We are really trying to identify, again, allegedly it seems, based on all of this, like, facts that we're looking at, these two people are most likely connected to this amount of money being traded. And again, I would love to hear a refutation. I would love to hear these people bring it up, because, again, I'm not here to straight up slander anybody or throw anybody under the bus. If I'm wrong, let me know, and I will gladly correct myself. But I will say, we're not going half-cocked, okay? I'm only going with what I've learned from anonymous sources and what we've able to logically deduce based on the money flow that we've actively been analyzing for months on end. There's also a case that needs to be discussed too that just happened, all right, literally a day ago. And I'm so glad I filmed these things like towards the tail end of the research and edit them, because it allows me to really input a lot of these extra blurbs that I feel like are very relevant. Now, if you've been following the news, you'll find out that one CryptoPunk sold for $532 million. Breathe, 532 million, $500 million, okay? Now, it didn't really sell at all. This is the NFT in question, this Nagito Danganronpa lookalike, okay? So what's interesting about this is if you go onto OpenSea and you track down Punk9998, they've got about 31,000 views, obviously because they've gained so much attention. But if you look at the description, you can actually realize, hey, I can look up the blockchain history, right? Token Angel sold for 38 Ethereum to Ant BBBB. Oh boy. Oh my god. What a small fucking world, dude. God damn. Sale. Ant BBB sells it for 110 Ether, okay? So not a tiny amount. If we look at how much that's worth, ladies and gentlemen, that would be around the day of transaction, $348,506. Not chump change, right? That gets sold to OXEF764. Now, 3 months later, a day ago, this same account does a flash sale, a flash loan, or maybe an NFT wash trade, depending on how you perceive things, for 124,457 Ethereum. You might be like, whoa, how much is that, Muda? That, my friends, that, my boys, is about $500 million. Around there. Well, 534 million. It's a lot of money. Now, the thing is, it was never actually sold, because if you look at the entire transaction, you can see that basically they sold it, and immediately this account sent it right back to OXEF76. So, ladies and gentlemen, what happened? Well, this is what we call a wash trade, or when people effectively just blow up they basically speculatively raise the price of this NFT. Now, if nobody caught on to this, people would look at it and just be like, wait a minute, that NFT is probably worth $500 million. It's a simple way to raise the value speculatively of one of these assets, so some actual rich person jumps in and actually throws their money into it. This is the entire goal of this. And once that's sold, you can write the source of funds as, hey, it's an art sale, guys. I sold them this beautiful looking CryptoPunk. Look at that. It's gorgeous. I mean, you can literally look at the internal transactions right here. The literal transaction, they just sent money and sent it right. Like, this is not even trying to hide it, ladies and gentlemen. This is like just blatantly full mask off. We don't care, all right? We don't care if you catch it at this point. And this is where, like, look, I'm not trying to make crypto and NFT look bad. You got to understand, a year ago, I was all about this technology. But now I'm one of those people that's still about this technology, but I do firmly believe that some level of regulation needs to kick in. So let's move on to our next person, Chris here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Chris is one of those people that you might have seen in part 4 when we looked at some of those deleted Reddit accounts. We'll get to that in a minute. Chris is believed by anonymous sources to be one of the original owners of ROOBET. We know this because in part 4, towards the end, I showed you those 2 Reddit accounts, R Starman and One Element. Now, these accounts, while they're deleted, they can still be recovered through archival tools such as Kamas over at GitHub. And basically, on December 11, 2018, I'm going to read you some of these posts. On that day, R Starman makes one post. Hi, my name is Chris. Oh, sorry, hiring CMO for Fun Online Casino part-time. Hi, my name is Chris. I am on the ROOBET GG team. So just straight up fucking confirming that you're on ROOBET. Thank you for that. Right now, we have a solid team of developers, legal, accounting, all set up, and we're looking for someone to lead our marketing strategy, CMO. We are a remote team, so being online and available is important. Being a remote team and a startup, some members of the team do have full-time jobs and treat ROOBET as their part-time gig, while putting several hours of work each day and working on weekends when necessary. Such hard work right there. God bless you guys. We're looking for someone with heavily digital marketing experience, specifically outside of Google and Facebook. Since we're a casino, Google and Facebook won't allow us to push ads through their platform, and we're very limited to what we can do, incoming adult ads. Yeah, you ever wonder why Google and Facebook don't want to allow this kind of gameplay? Like, they don't want to do it? Well, it's because they don't want to breed more addicts. Now, of course, we can talk about how YouTube and Twitch in certain cases allows this content to stay on, and it may be, in some cases, worse than just a straight-up advertisement, but that's something we'll discuss again towards the tail end of the video. I don't want to front load that right here. Okay, so then they make more posts like illustrators and graphic artists for games. Hey, I'm leading some development work at a casino and need to make some help making games feel fun with artwork and theming. We're looking for similar style traits to Bitcoin. Would be a plus if we're using vector art to make things easily scalable / lightweight. Budget for the project is $300 per game. You know, he's more nice than the Fiverr people, that's for sure. ROOBET was formed by a close-knit team and is now growing as expected. We're working 24/7 to create the best experience we possibly can. If you stick with us, we can assure you that the journey will be worth it. One element we can link to Starman's post because of the similar locations again they report to. One element talks about being on the management board of a big online casino. You look at the comments they make, and they're only talking about McLarens, they're talking about big houses, and sometimes they're talking about customer support for a casino. Which casino? Only ROOBET. I mean, it's a pretty massive coincidence, right? One of the big takeaways is one element formed the Wizza subreddit, and also showed earnings of $20 million a year in 2020 on an online casino. I wonder which one. Won't disclose which one though, and it's not as if your archive comments make it so hard to deduce, but he still claimed to shoot for like $30 million the following year. I mean, that's a lot of money, and then the growth, it starts to make sense as to why these people can afford Los Angeles' top influencers for millions of dollars a month. Ladies and gentlemen, this all makes more sense when you look at the actual money flow. The accounts we've seen up until this point have had millions of dollars flow into them at one point. Alan's alleged account being one of the largest active right now. We had Matt's and Anthony's connection where NFTs are being scooped up for insane amounts of money and appear to be used as stores of value because again, I question how you can get this money into the United States through the Internal Revenue Services. But then we have this person claiming to be an owner of an online casino with projections of $30 million in just 2021. Like, that's this year. I mean, I don't know how true that's going to be given the whole shit show, but here on News BTC, you can even see on this press release, they straight up named Chris as the CEO of the whole site. Again, from numerous anonymous sources, we've been told that while ownership stake from Chris is believed to be sold to the other members, he still seems to have some level of a profit-sharing scheme in this, okay? In fact, if you go to the API admin routing of ROOBET, you can find out that one of these actual routes is call Chris. I mean, that's just so oddly specific, all right? Everything's just lining up. I can only imagine what Chris it could be referring to, you know? I mean, I wonder how active that route is for the back end, by the way, too. Now, Chris appears to have a history of being involved with some shady schemes. I wouldn't so call it a history as much as it appears to be a career. See, if you look at some of these posts again, you'll see, like, earlier on, Chris also wanted to have some level of, like, graphic design work similar for a CSGO casino that they were building. Now, again, if this is the same as Chris, most of the stuff is scrubbed off of the internet, but thanks to the Wayback Machine and incredibly old posts on the most obscure hack forums imaginable, if this is the same Chris again, for instance, I'm just, going to throw alleged out there, Chris was also involved according to a company known as True CPA LLC, which by now is dissolved. Now here, based on caches of old CPA or hack forums, he was believed to be someone who was, according to these posts, selling views on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. He ran a site known as YouTube Force selling those views, assuring people, don't worry, no one's ever been banned on our platform, though you got to make sure your AdSense is disabled, all right? No, you don't want anything fun. Look, I don't have to try to play funny here, okay? If this is the same Chris, this is like a career at this point, okay? You're selling shady YouTube views, you're being involved in crypto casinos, not just one, but multiple ones of them. But what's important here is that this guy's front-end developer for CSGO Big. One more CSGO gambling site into the mix. Now, again, even more important here is the hacker forums, where he discusses his connection to these earlier ventures, and towards the tail end of those posts, discusses a casino. ROOBET. Only ROOBET. Again, it's odd that this account literally drops the Chris website and then eerily connects it towards the end of the whole ROOBET experience. I mean, ROOBET's such a great, like, come on! Again, I'm not going to legally screw myself, but I'm just going to leave you with these presented details, and I'm going to let you come to your own conclusion. It is what it is. Now, the other one is this guy named Joachim, and this is one of those offhand things we're going to mention. This is like sort of the one random side character, okay? This is like the random dude no one knows. It's getting a bit confusing, but to include this, it's not long, but this character known as Joachim, which was introduced when I was on LinkedIn investigating, is a small, tiny blurb. But when I found this guy, he claimed to be the executive staff of Coinbase, founder of Google Stadia, and has more exec-level work with Disney. And then turns out they claim to own ROOBET. But if you look at the work page of ROOBET and its post history, it's odd. It's like one random post to some Instagram account 3 weeks ago. I mean, it's odd when sandwiched amongst these companies is just like random offshore casino. And odd enough, is when they mention things like CS Money. Again, one more CSGO connection. What's odd about this is when you search up ROOBET, though, you'll find out that ROOBET shows up in a lot of CSGO gambling top lists for some reason. But then, I think that has a lot to do with the fact that ROOBET, when you go into the Wayback Machine, was initially allowing OP skins as a login method. Yeah. So, again, it's worth noting all of this down, and while this may be like a way for me to be thrown off the trail, it's worth writing all of this down because, again, it's one more CSGO connection that can't be overlooked. Now, the final man, but the most elusive of them all, according to anonymous sources, is the man pinned as Gilad. On the surface, Gilad would appear to be the owner of OfferToro, a service that appears to be pretty legitimate. It allows you to turn your users into revenue. You know in mobile games when you have like premium currencies, but then they offer you like a free way to get that same premium currency, right? Like, hey, sometimes you gotta watch a shitty video, you gotta download an app or leave a review. Yeah, Gilad runs that, or at least he runs, some similar company, and he claims to be the CEO of it on LinkedIn. You can even see that in OfferToro, they're literally putting kids games and skin betting together. It's like, what kind of a weird algorithm do you have that's combining a bunch of these kid-friendly mobile games and experiences with legit offshore crypto gambling? Oh, sorry, it's CSGO skin betting. The one surface connection to ROOBET for Gilad comes in the form of his name being on the trademark filing for ROOBET. You can find this filing on the U.S. Trademark and Patent Office, and while that's all fine and dandy, let's go a bit deeper, because while that's the one cursory glance, there's a rabbit hole to go down. Gilad has been fingered by numerous anonymous sources as the man behind all these CSGO gambling websites, a big chunk of them. One of them being skinbet.gg. You can even dig up old Whois data and find out that this guy was a registrant. You can look at Gilad's Skype account and you can find out that this dude has the ID of Dino-27. Why this is important is once we look up Dino and Steam, we'll find some accounts. Something about Steam that's important is that no matter what you do, it will store your previous aliases, right? Now in certain cases, here's one called Dino-skinbet.gg. We found this through Arrow's Steam account, okay? They're still friends. And if you look into the actual names over here, you can see that, what is that? Is that our good old friend, Dino Gilad? Huh. Well, god damn. Boy, ain't that a coincidence, ain't it? Now, if we look at Arrow's Steam friends list, again, keep going more and more into it, you'll find more of these accounts. So let's get into it. Gilad, or Gil for short, who is on the ROOBET papers, associated to Alan, another member of ROOBET, and pointed by anonymous sources as a serious partner or possible owner of ROOBET. And when you dig down some of the Discord leaks that you get from whistleblowers, you come across more mentions of Gil owning SkinBet. They point out, and at one point, another anonymous source, who, by the way, fears for their life, gave me one wallet account that is alleged to belong to Gilad. And this would be identified as ROOBET whale number 6. So let's look at the actual account, okay? Let's go look at whale number 6 real quick, okay? All right, boys, here's the actual ROOBET. Here's the actual Ethereum scan, okay? So the blockchain, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't lie, okay? Men lie, women lie, the blockchain does not lie. But let's go down the rabbit hole. So it seems like throughout the entire night, like the last 24 hours of like me investigating it, it seems like allegedly Gilad's wallet here, allegedly, has slipped down like 8 times, I think, right? Or 2 times, 2 positions, or he's losing the Grand Prix. But if you look at it, this is OXB5E625, and that's the one that we're looking in. So OXB5625, right, OXB5E625, has got 3.8 thousand Ethereum, right? So again, let's look at 3.8 thousand Ethereum. So 3,800, right? ETH to USD. If that money was never spent at all, we're looking at around $16.5 million. Again, I guess it's chump change, right? Now, as of right now, this account over here has $8,361 sitting in it, okay? So you never know if these accounts really have a lot of money, but they do have a lot of transactions. If you look at the first point of transactional history, they get it a lot, they get a good chunk from the OP Skins alleged wallet. I kind of wonder why. But then if we go around over here, you can see that they're sending a lot of money, like 2 Ether, 2 Ether, 8 Ether, and then they're just getting more money and more money. It's not until like when we get to like page, I would say 4, is when we start seeing the 6th largest whale start to receive funds of 34 Ether from ROOBET's hot wallet. And this was back in 2020, okay? I think it was March of 2020. And if we look at that one transaction, you can find out at the time it was $8,000. So not a whole lot, but now it's about 150K. So again, Ethereum blew up, remember that. So as we keep on going further, there are more and more transactions. Now we get 104 Ether, then 51, then we get 14, 14, 39, 99. So these are massive Ether transactions. The last time that Gilad, allegedly this whale account, ever received money was 346 days ago from ROOBET's hot wallet. So again, it's another case of a dead wallet. But if you look inside this wallet, let's look at where the money might have flown to. So if you look at the ERC20 tokens, what's rather interesting is all of this USD tether. I've been told by anonymous sources that this is sort of like a pattern of Gilad, all right? But if you look at the actual Tether transactions, you can see that like around 399 days ago, they got $49. So again, USD Tether is a stable coin. So basically one Tether coin is equivalent to $1 US. That's how they peg it as, okay? So they get $49, then they get $10,000. Then they decide, let's up the ante a little bit, guys. An hour later, $500,000, another $500,000, another $500,000, $250,000, another $500,000, another $500,000. Jesus Christ. So, okay, if you click onto this wallet, OX6E855, you'll find out, it only has $500 sitting around in it. But if you look at their Tether stuff, they still have $128,000 sitting in here. Again, just tiny amounts, right? Like, not that big. If you look at their ERC20 tokens, boy, oh fucking boy, man. Not only did they get 1.7 million from our buddy over here, the 6th biggest whale. So not only did they get a lot of this money from these accounts, but they started siphoning it out to these accounts. One of them was this one numerous times. Like $250,000, 300,000, 270, 260 to like OX729. And if you click on this one in particular, let's keep on going down. Let's see where this money ends. You'll find, oh my god, it's $5.4 million now. Okay, that's a lot of Ethereum that you have. Okay, so this is where the money might be going. They have $58,000 tossed into it. And again, once you see the money coming in here, they're sending it out in Tether, like $250,000 to OX827, 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 OX3AD, OX3AD, OX2C4. So again, if we open up some of these accounts right here, we'll just go down the rabbit hole. We'll cover all of these. Again, the accounts get larger. Here's another one with $8.7 million tossed into it, and about $3,000 in USD Tether. But the Tether comes in and immediately starts getting sent to more and more accounts. So again, you see more 3AD. So let's go to 3AD and see where they're going. And this appears to be Binance. So they're actually cashing out small amounts, it seems, right? Like if you look at this cash out, this is the weirdest thing. So they go over here, they put in $2,250, 2,000, and then they put $2,300, and then $5,250. So it's like they're cashing out. It appears like where this money ends up going is it's like slowly cashed out. It's slowly cashed out over at Binance, and it's being cashed out for a few $1,000s at a time. But again, if you just go back one piece from this $2,000 transaction, dude, 6AE has a lot of Tether coming in. All right. And they're just sending it around and forth. So it's like slowly being drained out into like, I guess, real currency or maybe swapped into a different one. Even the 6E855 wallet that has like $128,000 sitting inside it, yeah, their first transactions, even in like Ethereum, were from one of the ROOBET whale wallets. So yeah, there's a clear connection to these systems. There's a clear connection to this one. This is the same wallet that is sending like $300,000 to like, or sorry, like 2,250 like 3AD. You click out on 3AD and this is where it's getting cashed out from. Like, what is this? What are you writing on your taxes? There's also Bitcoin Talk accounts that we need to cover regarding Gilad's business opportunity, okay? So Bitcoin Talk is a forum where a bunch of people can sit together and talk about their upcoming business ventures in the world of crypto. So let's look at it. So here you can start seeing by our buddy Dino27, remember that name. Hey there, we're in the process of setting up a new interesting project. In fact, a few projects. We are a proper company with a few successful businesses. I can't go into details publicly at this stage, but we're looking for blockchain and token developers, so maybe setting up a coin, I guess. People who can write white papers and come up with an appealing website. Setting up an ICO. Oh my God! Everyone here is in the same hustle. There's no originality in you people. God damn! I can assure you, I'm not a noob. We mean business. Cheers. Now, what's really funny about this is like Dino, apparently, if you go around reading into this, actually gives out their email. All right, so look at this one. Dino says, there's more than one company involved here, and there's a few projects. The company I represent is OfferToro, but there are bigger companies, which I can't reveal their names at this stage. More details at Gilad@offertoro.com. Oh, no, you don't just give out your name like that, dude. You don't give out your name and talk that shit. Then there's another account known as Absolutely Positioned, which apparently claims to like be part of the website ROOBET.com. All right, and you look at their posts over here, they're all just talking about how ROOBET is great, dude. This is the best goddamn... This is their casino, dude. This is what it is. Look at their leaked company memo that they brought out. Leaked. Dear Howie, I'm contacting you because Mr. Roo has gone off the rails. I was checking our credit card statement and he's been gifting thousands of subs to Twitch live streamers. Like thousands. Bringing Twitch back in. We'll get to that in the end. Full circle. Now, on the same website was his account name as Hampuz, okay? Now, from what I understood, I wouldn't say that this is necessarily Gilad. I wouldn't jump on that gun right there, but it's interesting to read this. So this account is like super active. They made like hundreds of pages of posts, okay? So one of them from 2016 was starting Bitcoin-based casino. Hey guys, so I'm currently in the works of starting up my own online casino, only accepting Bitcoins, perhaps alts in the future. They did in fact accept Ethereum and Litecoin in the future. Why I'm making this topic is to perhaps get some help from you, as in what I should look for. Don't do it. But what you'd like to see or get interested in, as much as how much BTC you think I would have enabled to not go broke at launch. I have my plan, but I always welcome suggestions and ideas from you, the users. I have a solid coder, I wonder who that could be, a PR guy, and a journalist in my disposal. So I'm really thinking about going big. I'm currently looking at software from SoftSwiz. If you look throughout this entire thread, they completely decimate SoftSwiz. They talk about like provably fair odds and whatnot. But if you have personal experience with them, please do share. That's all I can think of right now. I'll most likely add things on a go. I'm not in a rush here, just wanted to make sure everything is as perfect as it possibly could be. What's really important about this thread, though, that I also wanted to mention is towards the tail end, another user gives him some advice. Here, user Winter Measures says, well, if you want to start your own Bitcoin gambling website, you have to think about the following things. Always maintain a high bankroll to pay your users. Hire a good marketing team, which will help you for how you can make your gambling website popular. So yeah, they're giving this guy straight up advice on like, hey, you got to make sure you have a lot of liquid on hand. So to think about it, if these people have CSGO histories and ties to these casinos, they probably made a fair penny off of them. And this money would then be properly used, if I have to imagine, if I have to logically deduce, to be funneled into potentially an offshore crypto casino like this. And again, they're not wrong. To run a casino, you got to have a lot of liquid on hand. People could win big and you'd suddenly go broke. But as long as you have a good amount of capital floating in a hot wallet, you should be fine, especially since you should theoretically have that big house edge. Now, of course, if you look at the marketing team, this is important too. Without influencers and people taking deals, these casinos would be flash in the pans. Now, I know I mentioned ROOBET, but there's big casinos like Stake, like DualBits, and Stake is like 20 times bigger than ROOBET. So you might be wondering why I'm talking about ROOBET or Me and Coffee. It's because of the dumbass influencers that they picked that couldn't keep their fucking mouth shut. The idea of this is if you're going to run this, you need big names to draw in the crowds. You need to create those degenerate gamblers. And once you have that, the problem with these unregulated casinos is they'll come in, they'll chew out somebody, they'll like suck the blood dry out of them, throw them away, and get somebody else. Again, we're going to get to that compliance stuff a bit more later in the video. But this is a good point. This is sound advice if you're running a business like this, from what this one user has passed. Now, to understand, ladies and gentlemen, where I think this big story really comes into is Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Years ago, channels like H3H3 covered Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Channels like Honor the Call, Drama Alert, they all looked at a lot of these offshore sort of like CSGO gambling casinos. And there were a bunch of them. You may have remembered of T Martin and Pro Syndicate. These people were gambling in front of their audience, you know, getting them to jump in and throw some skins down, okay? Maybe anybody could come in and potentially win some skins. They didn't announce that they were literally the owners of the site. They had a big FCC issue, they violated it, they got fined, it pretty much ended right there. At least that's what we thought. But those two were not the only people that owned a site. They were just influencers that were massively popular at the time that were caught with egg on their face. Now, to understand, there are plenty of these sites that have worked back then, and they still exist to this day. Now, Valve cracked down on these websites, okay? They issued cease and desists, and nowadays, back in the day, these sites used to actually operate within the Steam API. But because Valve stepped in, they have to pass the risk onto the actual user. So while you can still gamble, you literally pass your own, you take the entire risk of getting your account banned and removed by Valve if you choose to participate in these skin gambling websites. Some of these sites do an absolute poor job, and sometimes they don't even tell you that it's going to happen. This is the shady side of unregulated gambling, okay? It doesn't matter. They're not there for you. And I'm not saying regulated casinos give a shit about you either. You're still going to lose in a regulated casino. The reality of a regulated casino is you can't be fisted nonstop, because you at least have the protection of a government agency or a gaming commission that has your back to an extent. But let's get into it. So back in the day, Richard Lewis made a report, okay, where he talked about how case openings scammed their customers. So if you look down over here, CSGO required you to like unbox cases, okay? So this is how you got like weapon skins. You got like weapon skins based on a variety of quality, okay? So like sometimes you get a really nice looking AK-47. Sometimes you get a real shit looking AK-47. It's really all down to how Valve wants to fuck you. To make it, to give a less crude version of what mode these sites had, they basically had a fist my audience mode, okay? So effectively, if you were playing on these websites, they would not stop to absolutely destroy your chances of winning. And by destroy your chances, we're talking obliterate it in a nuclear Armageddon and make sure you win nothing good at all. Some of the back-end leaks from these websites involve stuff like this, okay? So if you look into this situation, you can see free weight, where in the back end of the website, they can change the literal odds of you winning. So for instance, this is a real good image to look into, all right? So for instance, this is the AK-47, right? And they have like multiple AKs with different varieties of quality to them, right? From what I understand, the field tested right here is like the least quality that you can get, right? The emerald pinstripe. And here they have, you know, the sellback price, the max buy price, but the spin weight is the real important. So here they gave it 1,000 spin weight. So now you have a 50% chance of winning that emerald pinstripe. Now, the AK-47 cartel that's field tested, you also have a 49% chance to win it. Now, that field tested front side Misty, that real nice one, the expensive one out of these, is only available. The chance of you winning that is 0.04%. You have less than a 0.1% chance of winning that AK-47, okay? You might as well spend the $8 it would on the Steam Marketplace than risk $70 attempting to get this, or potentially $7,000 and never getting that goddamn AK-47, because the odds are completely stacked against you. Literally, in some cases, you can see that this knife, factory new knife, these are like the rarest things in the entire game. This is like the NFT of like gaming. But you got like $10,000 knife cost, right? And they literally changed the value to fucking 0%. They don't care. These scumbags who run these sites don't care. They just want you to talk. This is the problem with unregulated gambling. You go to a Las Vegas casino, they can't have a 0% chance of winning. They can't do that. If you knew that your chance of winning in Vegas was 0%, you wouldn't go to the casino. If you knew it was 2%, you might think about it. These people will tell you, hey guys, you could win a knife. You can't. The back end doesn't allow you to. These people can go into the back end, change it. It doesn't matter. It's an unregulated casino. That's the problem. Now, friends, this wasn't like the coin flips or random gambling that was shat on by Valve. These guys were doing case openings, something that you can do on Counter-Strike yourself. The difference here is that people jumped into this and they started trying to open up cases. But again, when the sites control the back end, you can imagine your chances of winning are absolutely zero. This is how scummy unregulated, and it's not even just CSGO, it's just unregulated offshore gambling hosted in a place like Curacao, where as long as you give them the holla holla dollar dollar, they don't give a shit about you following the laws, all right? In fact, recently, actually, because of the pandemic, the host government, the Netherlands, as far as I can imagine, is actually giving them an aid package, Curacao. And because of that aid package, they might actually have to give a shit about the unregulated gambling side. Guys, Curacao right now, according to most countries in terms of money, AML practices and KYC checks, is a joke, all right? The Curacao gaming license is a Mickey Mouse license. Anytime these people write the words provably fair, it means nothing to me. And here's why it means nothing to me. You can plaster a bunch of fucking code on your website, and yeah, sure, that might like blow a couple people. But if I don't see the back end to your service, I can't rely it. You know, I can't go into a Vegas casino and determine the back end either. But I know that if I'm getting fisted, they're actually going to get shut down or heavily fined, and I'm going to get my actual money back, or I'm going to get some justice because they're regulated regulated by a governmental agency or a gaming commission. You get screwed by any of these sites, whether it be ROOBET, Stake, DualBits, CSGO gambling websites, where a lot of these people have their shared history from, you will not get anything back. You'll get your account terminated, you'll get spit on, you go back home, and you look like a dumbass. That's the problem, okay? You think I have an issue with the morals and ethics? No, I don't give a shit. If you're an adult, gamble all you want, all right? Go for it. I think it's a shitty thing to do, but you're an adult, you make your life choices. But if you're going to gamble, if you're an influencer that's going to push this shit, at least push it to something legitimate. I'm sure a legitimate gambling firm wouldn't pay you as much as these unregulated shit, skeevy, fucking disgusting websites. But at some point, making $200,000 a month might be a little better than $700,000 a month. Okay, at some point, most of us influencers, at some point, if you're at that stage, you're already rich enough where you don't have to sell your soul to this, okay? You don't have to turn the audience that put you where you are into gambling addicts. And if you're going to do this and come out later and say, I fucked up, I apologize. No, you're just as much of a piece of shit as these people, except you're also a stupid piece of shit. Because not only did you join the club, but these guys profited off of you and are now using you to basically be the people that hold the egg on their face. So I have no sympathy for the influencer. The only sympathy that I have is, man, you guys got pretty screwed for the amounts you were paid for. But after that, all I can do is laugh at it. And if you guys get investigated and there's a case on you, don't fucking sit there and wonder why it's happening. You're involved with offshore cryptocurrency casinos that are definitely not legal in the United States. And we'll get to that. So I guess this is where we tie off the entire video, okay? If you go back in time real quick, in the late 90s, offshore casinos began to emerge as a solid industry, right? One of the players was known as Paradise Poker. In 1999, they opened up a shop, and if you're going to ask who made it, no one knows, okay? Seriously, look up the original owners of Paradise Poker, and you're never going to get a hit. We know that the 3 Canadians were behind it. We don't know who they are. We know that the payout for their buyout from the other companies went to a British Virgin Islands company known as Bonaire, who at the time, I guess, was believed to be those Canadians who owned it. Their identities are probably going to be hidden until the end of the world. Now, of course, if we go look around over here, point is, the people who bought it were known as Sportingbet, a gambling operator positioned out of the United Kingdom operating with a Gibraltar license. Now, even when setting an account on this casino, it comes across as a bit more legitimate compared to ROOBET, Stake, or DualBit. They start asking for my address and eventually, just a few minutes in, start asking me for ID for government compliance reasons. Now, let me give you guys a good example. ROOBET upped their fucking game compared to everyone else. You can go on Stake with a VPN and they just don't give a shit, okay? They just do not care, as far as my experience has gone. ROOBET, possibly because of the increased scrutiny me, Philion, and CoffeeZilla have put on it in the last month, have decided to follow all the VPN laws. Seriously, they won't allow any VPN anymore. I mean, I've tried to use VPNs with dedicated IPs, doesn't work. But here's the funny thing. You can literally go on in a legitimate location, make your account once, pass their checkpoint test, which you only have to do once, from what I've seen, and then they'll allow you to use VPNs. And you know what's happened because of that? People on Reddit, on their various Reddit or online communities are like, hey bro, give me $20, I'll make you a fucking ROOBET account. Shit, just use a VPN from the States. And that's how it works. All right, that's what some people are doing. And you don't know why? Because if ROOBET started to follow all the fucking laws, according to the anonymous sources I've talked to, they'd be cannibalized by their competition. Stake would eat them. Everyone would eat them. If they actually had to follow the laws and do what their gaming license wants them to do, ROOBET would shutter and fail. And that's why these crypto casinos get away, because they have to kind of skirt the law. They kind of have to not play it as safe. They can tell you a million times that they have provably fair odds and millions of dollars in chain analysis software. And you know what? You really have to put your trust into the people who have their backgrounds from those CSGO casinos and gambling parlors that have also had their fair share of weird controversies attached, all right? Now, let's get back to Sportingbet. It's operating in a gray area for at least Canadian users. 6 years ago, the Globe and Mail wrote an article about the Canadian gambling gray zone, specifically about sports betting in an online sphere. For Canadians, this is a billion-dollar-plus business, and it's all headed over to offshore casinos. The point of this was to raise awareness that despite Canada regulating gambling within its own borders, it has a lot of issues when that money goes to other countries, instead of being invested or gambled within Canada where the money could be taxed and also regulated. Like most debates, it has a lot of angles, particularly in the case of gambling addiction and the possibility of match fixing with like junior league games, where the players over there don't actually make a lot of money. They might be more incentivized to things like bribery. Now, according to Canadian gambling law attorney Danielle Bush, in regards to online gambling in gray zones, it's gray, and it's gray for this reason. There are no reported cases that have directly addressed this activity. So when people say online gambling in Canada is completely okay, it's more of a gray area, and that's because the law has remained untested. Even in certain cases, Canada has charged people tied to online gaming firms, such as in 2001 when an internet gaming firm known as Starnet Communications International Inc. was brought and charged in British Columbia, regarding the possession of a device for the purposes of gambling and betting. They were charged for around $100,000, but you get the point. You violate the law even a tiny bit and the consequences are there. Then you have big cases like Platinum SB, which is where a casino that grossed around $100 million in the course of 5 years. According to this article by The Star, Platinum SB was running online gambling through systems located in Costa Rica, but they hired bookies and agents all across Canada. 31 operators were arrested at this lavish Markham party for around 2,000 of their like VIP-ish gamblers. Some of the arrests included members of, I guess not, the Hells Angels. Real good company. But anyways, back to Paradise Poker. After Sportingbet bought it out between the years of 2005 and 2008, they were pushing the marketing, and it put them on the ballpark of $150 million in profit. That was until the US Congress introduced the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act. And then, if it wasn't for this, they might have actually kept on rising. So, the UIGEA is a law that forced all the leading online gambling websites to block off their involvement to US players. Any transaction that went to and from these sites was no longer allowed to be processed. In a lot of ways, if ROOBET, Stake, or DualBit started to use wire transfers, like US dollar transactions, because of this law, they'd be immediately barred from processing payments from any of their US players, even if they used a VPN, because this is down to the bank wire level. You can't use a VPN for these bank transits, okay? That's specifically between banking countries, okay? And that's heavily regulated. However, when you use cryptocurrencies, in this case, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, then you can use a VPN and just bypass any of the net restrictions that it becomes way more alluring. Look, remember, because these are casinos, if money is brought in from the United States and then back, it's illegal according to the UIGEA. Remember that. Because of this new law, the profit from these casinos withered, okay? And many of them had to shutter, including Paradise Poker themselves, whose domain literally goes to the main Sportingbet website. But before they shuttered, they had some legal problems. So, for instance, in September 2010, Sportingbet actually had to settle a lawsuit with the United States Department of Justice, and they agreed to pay a $33 million fine just to avoid going to court over violating the UIGEA. Sportingbet admitted that they illegally masked credit card transactions from their American users to make it appear as if they were playing from legal zones that Sportingbet could operate in. I mean, do you understand how bad that sounds? How bad that looks? The reason they paid this fine was that they could be in the good graces of the federal government in any capacity if the US repealed the UIGEA law. Unfortunately, that law is still effective to this day. And then you can look at United States versus Scheinberg, which refers to a federal criminal case regarding the founders of online poker companies PokerStars, Full Tilt Poker, and Sirius. This is like the black mark for them, okay? This is like the worst day ever. This is like the crash. These defendants claim to have no idea that the UIGEA was actually making the payment processing illegal for things like poker, okay? One of the payment processors actually had to turn state's evidence when the DOJ flipped the light onto them, and they said, listen, you could face a violation of the UIGEA yourself. So all in all, 11 indictments were sent, people were charged, $3 billion was pulled in for forfeiture, okay, from listed poker companies, these ones in particular. Look, we can get into these details on a separate video, but for now it's advisable to understand that these offshore casinos, regardless if they use crypto or not, violate the terms set by the UIGEA. This is why the United States specifically doesn't go for online gambling. Canada's laws are untested, as are many other countries, but for the United States players, it's a no-go in the world of online gambling, crypto or not, unregulated or unregulated. This is why the US doesn't work with the Mickey Mouse gambling licenses in fucking Curaçao. And before somebody says, but Muda, cryptocurrency is unregulated. And, you know, you're right. I guess to an extent, it's a new emerging tech. But even sites that exclusively use crypto, like ROOBET, Stake, and DualBits, can be targeted. And in the case of Nevada's Gaming Commission, they went after a person known as Brian McCone, who was charged with running an online gaming site using Bitcoin as a currency. When a criminal complaint was filed, Brian could have faced up to 10 years in prison and a 50 grand fine. This was the first time a case like this was brought up, and at the time, Michonne believed he didn't do anything wrong. He was like, I'm trading Bitcoin, not actual currency. Despite claiming this, he appeared as the chairman of the website, all right? He claimed that he was more of a marketing guy. Kind of sounds, you know, parallelish to the whole ROOBET thing. But when the feds raided his house, he was in Antigua with his family. Anyways, he ended up pleading guilty. He avoided jail time and paid like 25 grand, okay? 3 Bitcoins and like some electronic equipment, okay? So all things considered, dude dodged a fucking bullet. Now he shows NFTs. He owns around 100 of them because, I mean, why not, right? At this point in this series, if you see NFTs, cryptos, and casinos in the same room, and you're still, like, surprised, like, wake up, okay? Like, come on. It's been almost, like, 2 hours of me recording. Over 2 hours. Again, to tie it back, all of this is regarded to the U.S. laws in regarding online gambling, okay? The various casinos and services that have shuttered or faced legal charges by federal agencies should answer the question that led down this rabbit hole. Why doesn't anyone want to put their name on this business? Because it appears if this money touches U.S. soil or goes back and forth, and it's noticed seriously by actual federal agencies, which probably are already investigating this right now, these people could face some serious jail time or fines. And ROOBET might be the one case, if ever pursued, to really be the landmark, you know, put these people to the fire test for this law. Okay, this might be the one thing that really introduces some regulation. There's precedent for this stuff. And if you think I haven't sent my findings and research to any regulator or agencies throughout any of these scams I cover, you're kidding yourself, like 100%. If these people started to do KYC checks, it would actually hinder their business. For all these companies, not just ROOBET, Stake, and DualBits, and any crypto casino would absolutely fall. I will say, though, in my findings, Stake is the one that does the lightest amount of work, and yet they have the highest market share. And you know what? You can kind of wonder why. The easiest to access scumbag skeevy website will always be the one that's the go-to and the most profitable. ROOBET right now, because the influencers that they picked, has the most scrutiny on it. And this is why they appear to be the most safest, all right? The most, like, law-abiding groups. That is, of course, until you see people like Steve playing from Miami, of course, a while back. And hey, in the case of Aiden Ross, he was still playing on sites like DualBits and Stake from the comfort of his own home in Los Angeles. Now, while the parties involved really in the back end wanted to keep their names out for safety, which is understandable because they make a lot of money, what about the influencers that make a lot of money? Like I told you, FaZe Clan just went public on the NASDAQ with $1 billion valuation. If you think those guys over there don't have anything to lose, you're kidding yourself. They've built their brand years upon years. And to use the names over there, look, I'm not agreeing. I don't think they should have taken the sponsorship at all. But clearly, those guys have more to lose now than the ROOBET people. And it would be a goddamn shame if they're the ones with the egg on their face, especially considering how they didn't even profit the most out of it. The problem with this too is these influencers, so there's a pipeline, right? Like you've got Twitch, for instance, right? And Twitch has been doing a lot of things to sort of get rid of unregulated gambling on their website, but you'll see VODs on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook gaming, whatever. A lot of these social media sites let this content uploaded. I'm not going to sit down policing this content because at the end of the day, people watch different things. But when this content exists and it's sent out to like an audience that isn't under the age of it, like if this content was properly age restricted, I think that would be a lot better. But when it's offered to an audience that's like under the age of 18, it starts to breed a lot of these gambling addicts. And these sites prey on American websites. They prey on UK websites. They prey on like a lot of these illegal to access locations. And this is why some of these websites, like Stake, for instance, are it appears that they're pretty VPN friendly, all right, based on my experience using the website. And ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, when you've got the influencers who are key and vital parts to making these casinos like Stake, ROOBET, DualBits show up in the public sphere, these are key members. This is why they're paid millions of dollars a month. Without the influencer, and using their massive platforms, these sites wouldn't have a healthy audience. They wouldn't have the amount of gamblers to dip in and just siphon money out of. And because of how unregulated it is, and because you can't self-exclude. Remember in Coffee's video last time, you heard about self-exclusion. You can go very quickly to your state or province. Like, I literally can go to the province of Ontario, give them my identification, and never be allowed to gamble at all in a Canadian casino. This is not something you can do here. There's self-exclusion, yes, but nothing stops gambling addicts from making new accounts and jumping back in. These sites benefit off of finding a gambling addict, a whale, biting their head off, sucking them dry, throwing them away, and waiting for new whales to join the party. And that, my friends, is the most ethically fucked up thing I've seen. So again, let's recap, okay? We've got these multiple names. We've got Alan, we've got Gilad, we've got Matt, we've got Anthony, we've got Chris. 5 names that wanted to remain in the dark. Again, how much they succeeded, it depends on their success and how much they involved themselves with the influencers. You've got shady CSGO sites that almost all these people are attached to in some capacity. This is like where they came from. This is like what it appears their origin story was. So now you have these Avengers of CSGO like scumbag websites coming together with all their various modes that would absolutely screw you. Some of them, okay? Not all, but a good chunk of them had these messed up modes. And if that's the history, can you really trust them in a provably fair, unregulated casino? See, to us, it looks like the hustle transitioned. It went from CSGO to full mask-off cryptocurrency casinos. And you shouldn't trust it. You shouldn't trust the flow of money into the US, and it's alarming. And legalities are something that I feel like should be looked at by a lot of the regulating bodies and governments involved. Fuck these people, and fuck this unregulated gambling train. I hope you enjoyed the ROOBET House of Cards series. We wanted to really dive into this and look who was behind it. And I know this video is going to be long, and it has to be, simply due to the fact that you can't skimp out on anything. You have to lay out the entire story, and you have to just call it a day. So ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you learned something. And if you are going to sit down and gamble at these unregulated casinos, hopefully you've been deterred. Gambling is dangerous, all right? Gambling can appear fun, but it can ruin your life if you're not careful with it. So there are a few resources that I hopefully can slap up on the screen that you can hit up and make sure if you are addicted that you can stay away from it and you can help your life get on better, okay? That's all I'm going to really end up saying it. But yeah, this is me, Mudahar, and I gotta thank you all for watching through it. I gotta thank you on behalf of Coffee, one of my favorite friends and great co-investigator. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.